Hey everybody, welcome to the Ducks Quack Show. This is number 4 of the off season, and we have a really interesting show today. We have some throwbacks, and we have something new as well. The standbys, we have head coach Sean Falzone. Welcome back again, coach.
Thank you for having me.
And the Lake Delton Ice Arena manager, Aaron Kirby, back once again. Welcome back.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Sounds like we can hear you a little bit better this week. And the first original Dells Ducks captain, he was one of the few 91s in the 2011-12 season. Ben Stachowiak, originally from the Chicago area, now living in Alabama. Am I right, Ben?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, welcome back. It's great to see you back with the Ducks again.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. And at the other end of the spectrum, from Niles, Illinois, Mitch Miscevich is he's our 0-2 goaltender. Welcome, Mitch. It sounds like you're going to be part of that three-headed goaltending monster that is going to lead us to victory this season.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm very excited for this season. Can't wait to meet Anthony, coach's son, and Isaac. I've been talking to them for a little bit, getting closer to them every day. So looking forward to meeting them in person.
Yeah. We're equally as excited. The Ducks have a tradition of real solid goaltending, and it looks like it's going to be the case this year. A healthy competition between all three of you.
Yeah, I don't know how tall Isaac is, but he's way taller than me and Anthony, so we got a little work harder than that kid.
Covers a little bit more area.
Oh, yeah, big time.
All right, well, let's start out as usual with the head coach, Coach Falzone. Just quickly, anything new in the last week that you want to mention?
No, I mean, we're just getting ready for the combines, getting everybody's flights booked, and getting out there to, flying into Chicago, but getting out to Dyer and start watching all that stuff and get ready to watch some hockey again, finally.
Yeah, that's the good news. It looks like we're getting pretty close. The first thing that we have on our list looks like it'll probably be the NCDC Combine, and that's only a couple weeks away, mid-June.
Yeah, June 13th and 14th, I believe.
I think so, yeah. They moved it. I think we talked about that last week. They moved it out of the Chicago. It was almost right downtown Chicago last year, and now it's going to be in Dyer, which it's not that far away from Chicago, but it's in Indiana.
Yes, it's not. It's right over the border, and with all the stuff going on right now in Chicago and them still on hold, it's nice to get out there and just at least get to watch some hockey and see who all comes out. Yeah,
it's just great to know that people are going to be stepping on the ice real soon. I don't know if you guys follow other sports. The NASCAR race yesterday kind of triggered a lot of other stuff, and you can see the NHL is getting closer and closer to coming back. So I think we're going to get past this pretty soon.
Yeah, that's what we're all hoping for. That one's for sure.
Yeah.
And Aaron, anything at the rink? I know you posted some pictures of your new summer office, but anything new at the rink right now?
As of right now, no. The good thing is the area is now open. This weekend was noticeably a lot more people in the area. A lot of the major businesses probably won't open until after Memorial Day. So that's a good sign. So hopefully moving forward here, we can get some momentum. Whether or not the remodel happens yet this spring and summer, not quite sure yet, but we're getting ready and focused to have it ready for when the boys get.
That's the main thing. It'll be ready to go in the fall. Now let's do some reminiscing. 4 out of 5 people that are in this conversation were part of the original Ducks team. Aaron and head coach Sean Falzone was there in 2011, and Ben Stachowiak was our first captain. I really want to hear some great stories about that first season. And Ben, what are your sort of earliest memories? I know we had that kind of scrimmage in the middle of the summer it looked like the bonding was pretty instant with that group of players. What was it like for you?
Yeah, I think we all got along pretty well. We had those 3 days. I think that we all hated the most, and skating 3 times a day. But I feel like at the same time, that's where we built most of our chemistry from. Really, and then just doing the extra stuff around town, like taking the pictures with the duck boats, stuff like that. Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Especially all the cleaning at the rink someone made us do. Kirby.
Yep, I remember.
We pretty much, I mean, we worked on pretty much a lot of that rink, and kind of tried to get it in shape for before season. So just doing all that stuff and working together, every meal we ate together, before the season started, and that's kind of where everything kind of started there.
Yeah.
One of the best memories that I had, actually, there's two of them. When the team was started, John and I had no billets. It was put together so quick.
Yeah.
And for the first 2 weeks, I had the whole team at my house, and we had players in the basement, we had players upstairs, downstairs, we had players everywhere.
Wow.
And it was a crazy time, but looking back on it, watching Matt Rowe try to fit on the couch, his 6'6" body, and because he refused to sleep on the floor. And so that was always good. And then, believe it or not, I took Ben out for dinner on his 21st birthday.
Yeah.
Remember that?
I do remember that.
Yeah. Me and Coach Jake, we took you out for your 21st. And
what was that place? It was by that movie theater, right?
yeah, it was over by Kalahari. It's changed a couple times in names, but yeah, you're right. So, but that was always fun, and it was a neat first season. We're all trying to learn everything. A couple road trips that John and I joined with the team. It was crazy. Things that I'll never forget. It was a great time, great group of kids, and having Ryan Fielding, a former cop friend of mine or partner of mine. He has his own Harley. He builds Harleys now, and he custom painted Matt Rowe's helmet. It was the first hockey goalie helmet he ever painted, and now Ryan's doing goalie helmets for many of the Division I teams in the country.
Oh, wow.
So it's neat stuff. So Ben, great to see you. It's good to see that you hair and you got that receding hairline like I do.
This is purposely. I'm not balding right there.
Absolutely.
Throwing it out there.
So yeah,
He's hanging in there.
that's a couple of things that I remember from that first year, and I know John and I had a blast, and and I know he still has a blast to this day with what he's been involved in and all the memories that we'll always share. So It's been fun. Looking forward to many more.
There was some experience on the team, Ben. I think you had played in the Great Lakes Junior League, if I'm not mistaken, before. There was maybe a half dozen players or so with some experience, but it was very new. Did it seem different, like in that, especially in the early games?
Yeah, it was kind of like those ones that have played kind of at that level. They're kind of already up to speed with everything, where some of those younger groups that came right out of high school, it took them a few games to figure out, things are happening a lot faster. I need to react a lot faster.
Right.
In the fact that there's fighting. So if you go slash them behind the leg, there's a good chance you're getting punched. It's not high school anymore where you wear a cage, or like they're going to be willing to just rip it right off your head. But yeah, so I mean, there was a lot of learning experience, but I think that whole chemistry thing that we started with, I think, kind of smoothed that up pretty quick.
Yeah. We did have some pretty good 20-year-olds that season. We were blessed with some real talent, I think, out of high school with guys like Verbecki and Pekka. But I think guys like you and Gunner, he was only there briefly, obviously, but you and Gunner, Casella, a couple others. I think maybe Brennaman might have been a 20-year-old. You guys really played a big role, I think, on that team.
Yeah. Well, me and Brian Halapa, we kind of lived in the same house, where we're able to kind of hang out and talk a lot about the team, what we need to work on, and some of the other crew were in the other houses, so like we would just kind of have like a little group chat and kind of talk to each other on occasion, see what's going on. I mean, all the players were living together, so obviously that's all havoc. But
And one of the interesting things, Ben, was that you did play 42 games that season, which I think is all of them. That was a rarity. I think there was a lot of injuries on that team that season, and you managed to stay pretty resilient, which I'm sure Coach Falzone really appreciated.
I mean, yeah, I always try to stay healthy as much as I can.
Yeah.
No fighting.
It was a tough season for injuries. I think, especially down the stretch, we were pretty thin. The season didn't end as well as we hoped it would, but boy, those first couple months were pretty amazing. We couldn't ask for a better way to start hockey in the Dells. And you and Coach kind of made a bit of a thing out of starting new things together. I think you were part of the original team at Aurora, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct. He coached me growing up a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when I was playing for the Flames, he coached me then, and then kind of talked to me one year about coming to the Dells, so I did, and next thing I knew, I get another phone call asking me to come play college with them. So I wasn't going to say no. I already had this, all the one was taken, so just had to keep going with it.
Yeah, Coach, he must have been a pretty special guy to have on a team like that, with the Ducks and then with the Aurora team as well.
Yeah, Ben is more of a family member than a past player for sure. Coaching him from when he was young to when he got older. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna start crying here. Forgive me. No, he's one of those players that came out as a natural leader. Players respected him. Players would follow him, and he had guys that would just play with Ben, right? The way he played hockey and the way he acted, and having him at the Flames, and then watching him, getting him to come to juniors with me, and then at college was great. He came in and he did his role and played his game. He led in defense. He's not the fastest guy in the ice, that one for sure, but skill wise, he could poke the puck off anybody's stick anytime. And it was hard to get around him. So on the defensive end, he was amazing. He was a very strong player for us and kept us going. And he'd make plays. He'd get the puck up the ice and make offensive plays. And it's great to watch, kids like Ben and well, now he's an adult. I guess I can't say kids like Ben, but Ben, from growing up from there to watching him graduate and then watching him come up and be an adult now and having a job and all the crazy junk that we all got to deal with. But it's been exciting, and he's a person that we consider. I mean, even when I was talking to him today about the interview, my wife's like, "Make sure you tell him I said hi. We miss him." I mean, he's family. He's one of our kids, and we love him and respect him, and glad to see him, and we still keep in contact all the time that we try, and and I'll make him be at the alumni game when we have one, so it'd be great.
Ben was one of those players. My daughter was 11 years old when Ben was here, and it's one player that I think when we talk about former Duck players, that's one name that she always remembers. So if you're going to make an impact on a kid, 12, 13. Well, I was just reminded she was 14.
Yeah.
14.
I was going to say,
she was in high school.
I was trying to count, 10 years ago, whatever. But yeah, I mean, he's when you talk about the Ducks and the team, that's, one of probably 8 or 9 names that you'll always remember.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. So just catch us up a little bit, Ben. Obviously, you had 4 seasons at Aurora with Coach Falzone. I believe you were part of the inaugural team there, and then part of the inaugural NCAA team the following season. What have you been doing since then?
Well, got my degree. Decided I did not want to live in Illinois anymore.
Okay.
So I took a job down in Alabama. I got my degree in athletic training, so now I'm covering all the sports at a high school over here, with injuries, rehabs, taping, all that sort of stuff. And that's kind of just what I've been doing, working on my master's online now and might get my PhD after that.
Oh, fantastic. So you've really set some roots in Alabama?
Yeah, actually, I love it down here. Like, the company I originally worked for, they had like 5 different openings throughout the state, and I was like, which one has an ice rink? And they told me, so I moved there.
Perfect.
Good for you. Good for you.
Ben was the guy that went to college. He had a good paying job before college started, and he wasn't in high school. He didn't really do. It was hockey. Is all he cared about. And then he busted his butt to get into the college. And at the college, he is still, from what I remember, out of the 5 years I kept track of people, the only hockey player to make the athletic training program, the only hockey player to actually graduate the athletic training program that I know of currently. And I mean, he proved way above and beyond, that when he put his mind things, he's good at it. And watching him graduate is awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I do want to do some. I want to go back and hear some more stories about that first season. But let's bring our goalie in here, and he's been waiting patiently. Mitch, I guess it gives you a sense of the history of our team and kind of the family atmosphere that we have when you hear stuff like this. But what are you expecting to be your biggest challenges in the season ahead?
I looked up the record last year. Is a little similar to my team last year, so I'm looking to but they still made playoffs. We're trying to improve that and become more of a closer family, because this is all new players. I've never met them, so I think the biggest challenge, the first challenge, is going to be connecting with them in a like a brotherhood. That's what our school was like. We always we're all guys school, so we're all about brotherhood and being like a family. So that's what I kind of want to bring to the new team in the Dells. So I feel like that's going to be the first challenge, and then on the ice, that's another one. So I feel like that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, we've talked about it quite a bit in our previous shows, but the coach has done a really good job of kind of making the players get used to each other already, and there's kind of a bonding process going on already, really, isn't there?
Yeah, we have group chats going on Snapchat and all these apps, but I've been playing video games with Anthony and Isaac already. We're already bonding like that. We're talking about what we're gonna do on the bus, play poker, make fun of our coaches a few times. So, but yeah, I think it's gonna be a blast next year, and hopefully it's turn around from that last season. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
As someone that's been involved around the team for since the beginning, Mitch, hits some elements right on the head. Every year, the team that seems to bond quicker is the team that is more successful throughout the season. So that's huge, and it's nice to see that he's moving forward already, trying to create those ties before the season. And I think coach has got the right idea of making sure that these kids are working out the same no matter where they are, and communicate. Right. It's only gonna benefit them when they get here.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw from the questionnaire that you really relish the difficult situations. I think you said you like facing 2-on-0 breakaways.
Love it.
I thought that was kind of interesting, and I have to say, we have some skill on our team, but we are going to be young, and I think you're going to get your wish. I think you're going to face some odd man rushes, and
I'm ready for it, though. I'm going to give my decent crap, but I think it's going to be a little better than last year. Not like 5 a game. It's going to be more like 2, which is acceptable. But
yeah.
But this team I can tell all of them work hard. They're going to prevent that as much as they can. So
yeah. Well, it sounds like it's going to be a wide open type game, so they're going to count on the goalies a lot, and it seems like all 3 goalies are ready for that.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Mitch, who's your car mate there?
Car mate. Oh, this is a poster of my cousin. So, yeah, yeah. I just realized I was in here. Yeah, I got
He needs family close
family
to him.
watching in the back too.
Yeah.
Yeah. All times.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So I don't know
Yeah, I
how
got
much
some
time
family.
we have, but I do have a couple stories from that first season. I don't know if you guys remember this. This is one that just I always think of when I think of our first season. Our very last series, we had a chance of going, I think maybe as high as third or fourth in the regular standings. We ended up running into a real tough Edina team, and they had a player on their team that really got under everybody's skin. I think I remember his name, but I don't want to say it just in case I'm wrong. But I do remember that Nick Brennaman decided he'd had enough. I think it was maybe in the middle game, and he dropped the gloves right in front of our net, and they went at it. And it was the most vicious scrap I think I've ever seen. And I was standing on that, that podium, Kirby's kind of platform thing there, watching the game. At that time, there was no net there. We were just kind of, I think a lot of the scratches would wait there. And Brennaman came up about 10 minutes later, and his face had to be out 6 inches. And I just went, oh my gosh. I didn't say, oh my gosh. I'm sure I said something else. But then that made him smile, and it was the weirdest looking face I ever seen. I'll never forget that.
Ugh.
We had a few little rumbles. We had the goalie fight. Against
Oh,
one
boy.
of our forwards. Yeah, that was on the course that happened to be in the front page of the newspaper over there in the Dells, and so that was a great start. And a couple little scraps, I guess you can say, and Rochester and against the Energy. I mean, heck, we can go on and on. The Owls.
Oh, the Owls were vicious.
We have our friendly rivalries, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that one guy, the one team from Minnesota, the Ice Hawks or whatever they were. What team was that?
Rochester Red Sox?
Rochester. He and that one dude would go at it every game. It was so fun. You get so mad anytime I took the puck from him. And he would get two-handed. I think I draw like at least 4 or 5 penalties that season just on him. Like just getting under his skin. Loved it.
It was that season I said to myself, I will never wear a white tracksuit. I just, the coach always wore white tracksuits.
One other one I have too, and it's just real brief, and it's probably Kirby's seen me at the rink. I'm terrified to step on the ice with my shoes on, and probably the biggest reason was, every season it's the same, but the scratches generally have to look after doing the nets and picking up the pucks and stuff like that. And we had a guy named PJ Gillespie. He wasn't there that long. I think he maybe was there till Christmas. But he was doing the nets one night, and he went from the Zamboni exit, and he took about 3 steps. And PJ was a real big guy. I think he might have been 6'3" or 6'4". And his head, after 3 steps, his head was still at the same height, but his feet were like 3 feet over his head. And he landed straight on his back. And I couldn't believe it. He just got up laughing. I never seen that before. And to this day, I'm terrified of going on the ice myself.
PJ was a great kid. I loved him. I always
he was a good guy.
Even when he left, I know me and him stayed in touch because he had some stuff.
Oh, really?
In his personal.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'll tell you what. Just sitting here watching Mitch. He's a young kid. He's got that personality that you want your goalie to have. That cockiness, that
swagger,
just that eagerness.
Yeah.
Well, that too.
Thanks, coach.
So it's gonna be interesting to see how long that cockiness stays. If it's gonna evolve into something else. I like what I see so far, Mitch.
Yeah, last year they used to call me Captain Serious, but off the ice not so much. But on the ice, it's more like screaming and where to be. But off the ice, I'm just a fun guy to be around. I just like to have a fun time,
The non-stereotypical goalie, in my experience.
And I'm lefty, so I'm kind of sacrilegious on it. So,
Very good.
I'm out of retirement for that 2-on-0, by the way.
Yeah.
even in that first season, we had some real different personalities in goal. Matt, I think, was Matt Rowe was he was pretty flaky. He was pretty loose as a goalie. And Selly, if he was playing that night, nobody would even dare talk to him because he was so, he was very methodical, and he didn't like talking to anybody when he was playing. I remember that.
Well, that's the one thing our team, the Ducks, have always had great goalies. I mean, we've got goalies that have produced some unbelievable games. And if I'm not mistaken, isn't Selly playing pro over in Europe?
Yep, he played in Sweden this year. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
A couple years.
Very
ago.
impressive. Very impressive.
I was actually just talking to his dad the other day. He was telling me, he was giving me updates on how he was doing out there.
His dad was a great guy. I wonder if he still got that
He does.
mustache.
He does.
Yeah, he does.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
We still talk to you on Facebook and
Yeah.
all the time.
Good deal. Well, Mitch, it was a pleasure meeting you, man. And,
Yeah, you too.
We'll see you at the rink for sure. Jimmy, finish it.
Yeah. So, Mitch, again, you're right. Thanks for joining us today.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Maybe we'll see you in a couple weeks. Are you thinking of heading over to the combine?
I think so, yeah. I got to get
Yeah.
some ice somehow, so I'm taking advantage of that.
Good. So we'll probably see you over there. And captain, my captain, thank you so much, Ben, for coming on today. It's been great talking with you. You play such a huge role in starting this team out. I don't know if you know that, but you're looked on with a lot of respect as the original captain of the Dallas Ducks, and we just really thank you. And you're welcome at the Lake Delton Ice Arena anytime.
I appreciate it, Jimmy. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll be back next week, probably with some more players or coaches, and it'll be the eve of the combine. That'll be the last show we do before the combine. So we'll probably do some talking about that again, and maybe some details on the season. Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks so much, Jimmy.
Thank you guys.